Hello, I'm Steve Thomas. I'm the CTO of Portfolio Plus. I'd like to welcome you to our exciting mini-series, Tech Threads. Now, we're going to be talking about a lot of the exciting changes in our company, and I've got some questions that have been posed by our customers and our internal stakeholders. So I'd like to start with the first one. So we'll kick things off in this series, and we'll start talking about communities of practice. Specifically, what are they, and what do they do for us, and how are they form a critical part of our strategy? So let me start by asking some of the leaders out there. As you look at your organization, you look around and you think, how can I make things better? You can build better products, processes, cultures. So what we've decided to do is focus on our communities of practice. So let's first talk about our strategy and specifically why they are important to us. So firstly, a community of practice here at Portfolio Plus brings like-minded individuals. I'm a software developer. I want to hang with other software developers. I want to learn from that individual. I'm a quality engineer. I want to hang with those resources and learn from that person as well. So what we found was, as a company that's 35 years old, we had started to develop silos. So we opted to break that down, started bringing our communities of practice together, software, quality, architecture, and product. And we've been very successful so far. So let me tell you a couple of things. We've eliminated the silos. We promote transparency. We promote collaboration and information sharing. And in fact, we make this an integral part of our employees' goals for the year. So by addressing these challenges, we are able to build better products. It feels better at the end of the day that our resources feel that they're working at a place that cares about them and their colleagues around them. Okay, another question I was asked. So, how do these communities actually foster collaboration and innovation? So by way of background, we actually practice Scrum within our organization, and we're on a continuous learning journey. So for those of you out there that practice what I call real-world Agile, many of the topics that we will discuss in this series will resonate with you. So one of the key learnings, first order of business, communicate. I was pleasantly surprised and shocked at the same time when we pulled our communities of practice together and had them communicate in weekly meetings. In fact, I sat in with a quality center of community practice meeting, and I was surprised to find that some of the individuals, although they've been here for many years, had actually not talked to one another. Second point, you need to bootstrap the process. In my experience, the way we started this process here at Portfolio Plus, we came up, what are the common business practices that we needed to solve? SDLC, quality, test automation, pushing quality left, secure development, DevOps, DevSecOps, the list is endless. So what I and my leadership did is we seeded a bunch of key business problems to the teams, and they were told, you are empowered. This is the problem. Now, what are the outcomes and the solution? In my experience, top down is great from guidance, bottom up from a practitioner is key. Early on in the process, I was asked a very specific question by two devs on our team. And if you're watching, you'll know who you are. But what they asked was, Steve, these are great changes. How can we influence the rest of the organization? This is how. So I'm really happy to state that here we are 3 years in, and we're seeing the fruits of the labor. Finally, on this question, our leadership team started adopting the phrases, one team. We work together, we play together, we win together, we lose together. As I said earlier on in the conversation, all the silos that we had, while working, it was not optimal. So adopting the phrase one team, and every AGM, or annual general meeting, our CEO Diane and I are on stage, one team, one team, one team. Sounds great. Tell me how these COPs have positively impacted our products or services. So before I go into a specific example, I'd like to also share, we've also implemented something called a Center of Excellence. You may say, COP, COE, oh my God, what's with the acronyms? Now, we'll go further into this topic later in the series, but a Center of Excellence is a group of people that mentor, coach, validate, share best practices. A great example, the Quality Center of Excellence. So in 1973, the way quality worked was a ratio of 3 developers to 1 QA. And I, as a developer back then, not that I was developing 73, would say, I don't test my stuff. That's QA's job. we are pushing quality left. And by forming the quality center of excellence, what we've focused on for the past couple of years is test automation, test automation, test automation. What better way to share to your customers that you care about quality to say things like, I have 10,000 test automation artifacts to run 24/7, not just manual tests. So that's the mindset we've instilled. And I'll talk a little bit more about quality. We've also implemented an architecture and security center of excellence. I'll go into some deep details later on in the series about what we've achieved there, potentially in the last video of the series. So what we've been able to achieve with the software COP and the quality COP. This spring, we have the largest release going out the door. It has the equivalent of 200 new value add features. Now, this is a ginormous release. And we had a really big year last year. We've launched Cloud Program. It's been live for a couple of years. We're going to have a separate series on that, lessons learned. But I firmly believe we would not have been able to get the quality release ready to go as we have without the formation of these COPs. Over the past year, they've tackled a plethora of business problems, and we're now, said before, we're reaping the benefit of those initiatives. Case in point, the first run of our test automation framework against our 19.0 release resulted in a 98% pass rate. Hands off keyboard, fantastic. We got a long way to go, but what a great first foray. In conclusion, I'm proud to say that our teams have leaned in to embrace all these changes. Changes is scary, but our teams have leaned in. DevOps, security, test automation, architecture. We now use the C4 model within the architecture group. Best practices galore. And I like to say it's not just what you build, it's how you build it. So over the past year, all these changes, we've actually created a document called the Portfolio Plus Way. You can call it Agile on steroids. I like to call it common sense engineering. So in our next episode, we will dig a little bit deeper into the COPs. I'll expand on the center of excellence and how those have helped us in our journey. And I'll also share how these changes are impacting in a positive way our products and our organization. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for the next one.